Mamma mia! I suoi zii la stanno aspettando giù!
Everything is ready, my darling. Do not be afraid. Soon we'll be together again.
Hello and welcome to Hello, This is the Doomed Show. I am Letizia. Please welcome to the show, Letizia.
But you're Letizia.
We're all Letizia now, buddy.
No, I'm Zero Papas.
Ooh. Actually, I'm Richard, and this is Jeffrey, who is kind enough to show up and talk. I didn't know it would happen.
Listen, I've shown up. I'm not guaranteeing I'm going to talk.
Okay. Well, you don't need a talking to be a podcast.
No. It's a visual medium.
Not this year. I don't think we're ready for that. We're not ready for prime time.
We're the not ready for primetime players.
Yes.
Yeah.
We are also regulars on... I was going to say SNL, but I don't want to die. Or is it only the fat guy that dies? Or the guy who's really nice who gets murdered by his deranged wife?
No.
That's sad. That's
only
sad.
Those ones. Those are the only ones.
Wah. Anyway, I'll edit that laugh so it's really creepy.
Okay.
Even though it was probably already creepy.
It was.
We are here to talk about a film. I think it's called Sex, Demons, and Death, although the Italian title is Diabolicamente, Letizia from 1975.
Or translated, Diabolically, Letizia.
That's when she signs her letters.
I know.
This is directed by Salvatore Bugnatelli, or Bugnatelli.
Mm-hmm.
Folks, sit down and just brace yourself. This is some crazy shit.
Yeah, I mean, if you have straps, you could use them.
Yes, you could definitely strap yourself down or strap something on.
Strap your clothes on, because those are the first things that are coming off.
Oh, man. I'm just going to jump into this shit because I'm excited. This movie starts with some music that I wrote down as Musica la funerale di Grandma.
What? Grandma's funeral music?
It just sounds like something somebody's grandma would play on the keyboard at your fucking funeral.
I love this score, this theme tune.
Oh, it's beautiful.
It's awesome. Beautiful. And in the trailer, you get a very extended version, much more so than in the film, and it's really cool. I think it's got sort of like a gothic giallo vibe to it.
Yeah.
I want to say it's like a pump organ. Is that even a real thing?
I think it's just like one of those old Hammond B3s. It's definitely got a windy sound to it.
It's awesome.
Like farts.
I love it. I mean, if I was a grandma and I died, I'd want it playing at my funeral, but I think that would be an atypical choice.
Ooh. This scratchy print starts with our nice credits here.
Which, by the way, is allegedly the one that's available on DVD is the only print in existence.
Why does that not surprise me?
Yeah.
Just makes it more special.
Yes.
Who put that DVD out? Was that 1/7?
1/7, yeah.
Yeah, so if you can still get it... Actually, I'm going to edit this.
You can. It's available still.
Okay, cool.
On
Thank
Amazon.
you.
It's not too expensive either.
It's worth every penny, folks, if you like crazy shit.
If you like crazy shit, terrible prints, very bad subtitling, this is the DVD for you.
We get to see some nice slice of life things happening in the credit sequence where there's a fender bender on the streets of whatever city this is. Mm-hmm. It's really, really stupid, and it has nothing to do with the rest of the movie. Mm-hmm. Finally, we get to our first real character of the movie, who is Marcello Martinozzi, played by Gabriele Tinti.
Yeah, he's a very cadaverous looking man for a leading gentleman, I would say.
And this guy has been in so much good stuff, like well, good and bad. He was in that weird Giallo Tropic of Cancer. He was also in Lisa and the Devil and the Eerie Midnight Horror Show.
I don't remember him in that.
He was in it.
I'm sure.
I don't remember much about that movie. It's
so in Emmanuel and the Last Cannibal.
Oh my god! Now that I've seen, woo! Yes. I couldn't get into that one. He's in a movie from my childhood called Cut and Run, which is a Deodato film from '85, which I saw in a drive-in theater. Nice. He's also in a film I really want to watch called The Murder Secret.
I've heard of that one.
Which was, I believe, the murders from it were trimmed out and put into Lucio Fulci's Cat in the Brain. I think there's some of those in there. And he's in something that I have on DVD but haven't watched yet. Contamination Point 7.
Oh yeah, I watched it.
Which is Troll 3.
Yeah, it's not a troll movie.
No, of course not.
It's a killer plant movie.
Oh, say no more.
And I think it's Joe D'Amato.
Yeah, he co-directed it, as far as I know.
Oh boy, not good.
Oh, it could only be great. So, Marcello is he's on the phone in his office.
He's an architect, as we will discover, and he's on the phone talking to a professor.
We'll see him reading architectural magazines later to prove that he's in the field.
Yeah, that's how we know. Because, he's one of those people who doesn't really do any work. He just has the title.
Right.
He mostly just has sex with people. That's about it.
That's all I know about architecture.
Yeah.
So he gets off the phone and he calls home, and the phone is ringing and ringing and ringing, which is great because, hey, who doesn't love that in a movie? There's a mysterious figure walking towards a house.
Yes.
First, I just called him Mustache Guy, and later he'll be Mr. Jingles. That's my name for him.
Okay.
But he is in the credits as a cultist.
Yes.
Played by Zero Papas.
Zero Papas, who has a great career.
Yes.
He is Mosaic, the Frankenstein creature in Frankenstein 80.
Oh, man, I love it.
He's also the vampire guy in Devil's Wedding Night. His last role was in The Beast in Heat. I mean, this is the guy with a pretty good fucking career. And he wasn't in that many movies. He has 13 credits in all. But
he was also in Frankenstein's Castle of Freaks.
Yeah. So, he never quite elevated himself above total dog shit, but that's good. That
could earn you royalty status on this show.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, we get a nice zoom in on him. He looks very, like I said, mysterious.
Well, the camera zooms in on his face, and then over the soundtrack, we get this really wacky scream.
Yes.
And I wondered what it was when I slowed it down and I figured it out. It's actually the squawking of all the tiny birds that live in his mustache.
They want out.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or they're breeding, whichever.
Possibly.
Finally, the star of the movie. I know it's not Letizia, but it's the other star of the movie, Michaela. Mm-hmm. It's his wife, Michaela Martinozzi. She finally picks up the phone. She is played by Magda Konopka. Yes. Or excuse me, Magda Konopka. And she is a Polish actress who's a real bombshell in her time.
Mm-hmm.
And she was in Blind Man, the spaghetti western.
She plays Sweet Mama.
Yeah. She was in a kind of okay giallo called Reflections in Black, which I'm dying to see a better copy of before I make my final judgment on it. But the one starring role that I'm really curious about is Satanic, with a K, from 1968, I think.
Yeah. It looks like a Diabolicamente.
Yeah, but for girls.
Cool. I like it.
Everything should be for girls. So, Marcello tells Michaela, his wife, that he's been talking to the gynecologist, and I'm assuming they can never have kids.
Yes. She's unfortunately barren, as most of the women in the movies we watch tend to be.
Nice. What a theme.
Yeah. It's a motif.
He says, let's take a trip to Switzerland. They are the avant-garde.
Yeah, they've got avant-garde methods there for getting you pregnant.
I'm assuming that's what they meant.
Yes.
Oh
boy.
She's very upset, of course, and he suggests that they adopt, and she does not like that. She says that's for other people, not for me.
Yeah.
And she'd rather take her niece, Letizia, from the boarding school. She wants to keep a promise that she made to her sister when her sister was on her deathbed, the bed that eats.
Yeah.
I just wanted to talk about that movie, too. Anyway, Marcella says, and quite correctly, isn't she a little old?
As it turns out, yes.
Absolutely,
very,
yes.
Very old.
Michaela says, make it happen, bitch. Well, sort of.
Yeah.
Then we see Marcello picking up Letizia from school. And Letizia is played by Franca Gonella, who is in...
she's a 30-year-old woman, at least.
In a schoolgirl outfit.
Yep.
This actress was in movie.
Mostly like softcore, sexy stuff.
And some comedies. I didn't recognize any of them.
No, me neither.
Too bad.
She looks to me sort of like Barbara Boucher's stunt double. Or like also possibly a small toy poodle.
Nice.
That's also like a 30-year-old poodle.
Right.
Whatever.
So when like Barbara Boucher has to fall down a flight of stairs.
Yeah, they just bring in old Franca Gonella.
Throw her down them. Don't get me wrong, she's a lovely actress, but she's just so weird. And it doesn't help that she plays the weirdest fucking character ever.
Yep.
She has pigtails, and she's got a really conservative little schoolgirl's coat on. Now,
and it's very, it conceals her true sensuousness. Definitely, right?
like a safe.
Yeah. So
or a bulletproof vest.
Marcello's wandering eye hasn't really registered her yet. It's just like, oh, it's a dumb old orphan niece that we have to take care of now. That won't last long, though.
As he's driving her home, he can't stop staring at her purse that's on her lap. Oh, no, wait.
Oh.
He's just staring at her legs like a lecherous piece of shit. Let's see.
We also, at some point here, when they arrive at the villa, we meet Giovanni, the butler.
Yes.
Or the manservant, or what have you. He is played by Gianni Day. Who is in a couple things, like Patrick Still Lives, the Italian ripoff of the Australian film,
which is
the unofficial sequel.
Crazy.
Yeah. He has a role in Giallo a Venezia.
Which, if you ever want to think happy thoughts again, don't watch that movie.
Oh,
it's good, but man, it is a sucker punch to your frickin' stomach. You'll never be the same again. I wasn't.
He plays Dancing Boy in a movie called Mr. Kinky. Unfortunately, he was uncredited in that movie.
Boo.
But he also has he's in Sex of the Witch. You like that one, right?
Oh, I've seen it more than I wanted to. Right? It's the worst.
It's one of your favorites, right?
Oh,
yeah.
God.
But he also has kind of a prominent role in the major flashback in A White Dress for Mariel as the lover of Mariel's mother.
Yes. See, I know that as Spirits of Death, but the White Dress for Mariel makes much more sense for the title.
Yeah.
And yes, he is the naked guy who does a backflip at the beginning of the movie.
It's
in
very
slow motion.
We come back to it so many times.
Oh my God, it's so good.
It's very memorable.
Oh my God. Hey, I'll come to you where you live, and we'll just do that scene in the street over and over again until someone tells us we're actors. Giovanni is clearly transfixed on Letizia, who has yet to say a word, I don't think.
Yeah. She's not a woman of many words.
No, she's really into Thorazine.
She's a woman of much saliva and little clothing, but not words, really.
Oh man, she's into laughing. She just laughs a lot.
Yeah, loves to laugh.
She's full of life.
Exactly.
Michaela comes out and greets Letizia, who is, still in a somnambulitic state. Inside the house, inside the villa, Michaela takes her into the tackiest room in the world.
Oh, man. And the second Letizia walks into it, she goes totally bug-eyed, which is what she does throughout the movie, but this is our first.
Oh, my God.
I mean, she's definitely eyeing the decor and going like, what the fuck? So I wrote down a list of everything we see in this room, tacked to the wall.
I'm ready.
First, we get like some weird doll that's like stuck to the wall with a pin. We have several portraits of African children from National Geographic magazine, probably. Some pictures of old cars, some pictures of race cars, a giant poster of Jesus that's shaped as in the form of a crucifix, a belt, I think. There's a belt hanging from the wall, like a string of seashells. A Buckingham Palace guard toy that, like, the doll is also stuck with a pin to the wall. A poster of a parachuting dude, a painting of a woman in a panther, and a man wearing a fedora who kind of looks like a skeleton drawing a gun. And my favorite of all, this is right above her bed, a jazz cowboy rodeo record sleeve. So essentially, it looks a lot like my teenage bedroom design.
I suspected it was you.
Yeah.
But it actually caused me schizophrenia when I saw it. Like, I don't know if it's supposed to do that, but it did.
You can tell that the set decorator was just so pissed at, his or her salary that it's just like...
Here's a bunch of shit out of the garbage.
It's literally out of the garbage.
While they're in the room, we get our first supernatural moment here as Letizia is staring off into space, which is 70% of this movie.
Yeah, it's her default mode. Like, that's her resting face. Bug-eyed, staring into space.
The curtains move, but there's no wind. And, it's this first, like, oh, something's up here.
Yeah.
Then Michaela tries to show Letizia the dresses she bought her, and she gets so dissed. It's amazing. She's just not even looking. She's like, right. She just kind of gives up.
Yeah.
Then Letizia finds a picture of her mother and flips the fuck out.
Yeah.
It's so good. Just more glaring and staring and bug-eyed insanity.
Did you understand any of the stuff with, like, the backstory with her mother?
No.
Yeah, me neither. Like, it's really important in the last 5 minutes of the movie, but it doesn't make any sense.
Exactly.
Okay.
Oh
just wanted to make sure I didn't fall asleep at the wheel.
So in the next scene, Michaela is having her boozy cigarette reverie. Mm-hmm. I seriously think she smokes about 2 packs of cigarettes on screen in this movie. Now, in the credits, it's Giselle, but on the IMDb, it's Louisella, and she's played by Karen Fielder, who I have no idea who she is or what she was in, but she is the maid?
Yes. They have a maid and a butler, and the maid and the butler are an item.
Yes, thank God.
Classes stick together.
So we cut to Letizia standing in front of the mirror.
Yeah.
And I got really confused. She's wearing some kind of like skin suit. Like it looked like you could see her bare flesh.
Yeah. Yeah, it's called a birthday suit.
Oh.
Yeah.
I get it.
Because it's her birthday.
Yay!
Happy birthday. Happy birthday.
There's a knock at the door, and she tells whoever the hell it is to come on in.
Yeah, walk in.
And it's good old Giovanni.
Yeah, he brought the cake.
Yes, for her birthday. He walks in, and she immediately hypnotizes him.
Mm-hmm.
And
with her bug eyes.
Yes, and commands him to approach. He has no choice but to start approaching this naked woman.
Yes.
And then, and if you didn't know you were screwed right now, this is the moment.
Mm-hmm.
If you didn't know that this is the roller coaster which does not stop until 90 minutes later. Letizia turns into the bearded lady.
Yeah, or, she reveals her secret werewolf face.
Oh my god. And
Waldarina Daninsky.
She's the niece of El
Hombre Lobo.
Thank you. Giovanni's reaction is my favorite thing in the movie.
Mamma mia!
Mamma mia! I suoi zii la stanno aspettando giù.
She laughs at him maniacally, which she will do constantly. I think I need a new ringtone. It's just her laughing maniacally.
Yes. Or the Mamma Mia. And he runs away like a maniac. And it's, bully on him because all she wanted to do was just invite him to a shaving party.
Oh, yeah, man. She's got some serious... she's got the sideburns that are kind of like crawling up into her eyes. Like...
Wow.
Or, what is it, Robin Williams?
You could run a comb through that for hours.
You just wouldn't get any of the bristles back.
Yeah, true.
That night, Marcello and Michaela are waiting, and then Letizia makes her big debut in her bathrobe dress.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, wow, you're so grown up. Marcello is so stunned by this moment that he drops his glass.
Immediately drops. Shatters on the ground. And then immediately says, "Maid, clean this up."
Yes. Which is brilliant.
And then he walks over and Michaela makes some sort of comment about like, "Oh, isn't she such a beautiful woman?" He's like, "Indeed." And he's staring at her like she's a rack of lamb and he's a werewolf face.
He is dumbstruck. It's so amazing.
Oh, yeah.
They leave to go out to dinner, and Giselle is picking up the broken glass, but she abandons that shit immediately when they're gone to go hook up with Giovanni.
Yeah, and she like walks down the hall, and we get some more disembodied soundtrack screaming, like for no particular reason.
Thank you, sound design.
And then she walks into his, what's his face? What's his name?
Giovanni.
Giovanni's quarters in the
Yes.
home, and he has a poster of two people kayaking, or I guess it's like whitewater rafting. It looks pretty intense.
That's nasty.
Anyway, he's sitting on his bed in a pair of tidy yellowies.
Oh my god, yes. The yellow briefs.
That's all he's wearing.
Oh my god.
She has a really great line here, Giselle does. She says, "You missed a real scene out there." And I think he means to say, "Yeah, I sat that scene out." He was in the other room. He wasn't in that scene.
Oh, jeez. No, I liked it. She starts kissing on him and is calling him Mon fichu, whatever that means. Because I think she's supposed to be French.
Mm.
And she calls him Giselle's sweetheart, which is very sweet. And she tries to get it on with him, but he's haunted by Beardo.
As you would be. He has a real Beardo flashback. It's just like an acid flashback, but
it never goes away. It stays in your
Carrier.
system forever.
Yeah.
She says, "I understand now. You're thinking to that soppy one too."
Soppy one.
Yep.
Oh boy.
She's annoyed, but I'm turned on because his underwear has the Stay Fresh pouch. Did you see that? What the fuck? It's like it has a built-in cup or something.
Oh, I'm trying to unsee it.
I just keep staring at his groin because it's fascinating.
This whole scene is set to some really like lame psych rock.
Oh, that's good.
Our first of many lame psych rock.
Oh yes.
And there's when I think it happens here, and it's more bad subtitling, in which she gets up and walks away because he's not into it because he's having beardo dreams, and she says, "You're disgusting. This is the end of the world."
Yes. I love it.
I don't think that's what she intended to say.
No, it's what she meant.
Yeah.
She's very dramatic that way. Okay, at a restaurant, we see Marcello, Michaela, and Letizia pass by the mysterious jingler, occultist Zero Papas. Mm-hmm. And then they meet up with the professor, who I believe is the guy that Marcello was on the phone. Yeah. And he is Alberto.
Yeah.
Played by Angelo Rizzieri. He wasn't in a lot of stuff at all.
No. In fact, you know what he was in? This movie.
Yes.
He was also assistant director in this movie.
Well, he did a fine job of acting. Assistant acting.
Yeah.
He joins them at the table where they're sitting, and he looks terrified of Letizia immediately.
Right.
He's also turned on by her because he tries to take a drink of water and misses his own face by a mile.
Yeah, he pours it all down the front of his shirt and tie, and everybody laughs at him. But it's just sad because, here's a man having a stroke, and you're laughing.
It is a very funny stroke, though. During this scene, there's a creature watching. There is a man who has a handlebar mustache.
Yeah.
And he's watching Letizia with hungry eyes.
I thought that this was Zero Papas at first, but I guess it's not him. Is it him or is it somebody else?
It's the creepy guy that's sitting at the table eating.
Right.
Because they walked by Zero Papas.
And that's why I got confused, because I thought he was then just continuing in the scene, because this character never comes back.
No, this guy has more hair.
Different, yeah. And a much bigger mustache, more birds nesting in it.
He's amazing.
He has a really cool tie on. It's what I'd call spaghetti sauce splatter pattern.
Oh yeah, I said it was a crime scene.
Yeah, I think it's just in case, he gets any of his pasta sauce on him, nobody will be able to tell.
Letizia sees this sexual beast, and she excuses herself, walks by him, and intentionally brushes her hip along his arm to kind of give him a signal.
You know what they say, werewolf attracts werewolf.
That's what I'm talking about. We're going to make some puppies.
A whole litter.
So he, very smoothly counts to 20 and then follows her into the bathroom.
Yeah.
She's in the bathroom. He walks past her as she's staring at herself in the mirror, and he starts to wash his hands, and then she glares at him.
Mm-hmm. Oh, he brushes his hand against her rear end.
Oh, yeah.
It's very gross.
It's pretty amazing. He actually left a big sweaty trail on her butt.
That's why he had to wash his hands.
Sorry about that.
Yeah.
No, he didn't do that. But it's amazing because the craziest thing happens. We cut to the next scene.
Yeah, she laughs at him and then walks out of the bathroom, and that's it. It is the most erotic hand-washing scene I've ever seen.
There's something missing here. Either she turned into the beast again, or he burned his hands in the hot water, or spontaneous combustion they forgot to edit in. I have no idea.
Just accept it.
It's beautiful. So back at the table, Letizia returns, and she says she has a headache. Mm-hmm. So they leave. It's really important to note that.
Mm-hmm.
No, not at all.
No, it totally is, because it leads us directly into the next scene.
Oh, thank you.
And this is an important scene. This is the scene in which Giselle waits upon Letizia, brings her breakfast. Letizia wakes up, starts telling her about her fondness for ladies, and asking Giselle if she's ever had a fondness for ladies. Letizia says that at boarding school, it's all girls, you gotta make do. Yeah. And then she starts rubbing a piece of toast against Giselle's face in a very erotic manner.
What pisses me off about this is that if it had been cinnamon sugar toast, this would be a different movie. Because that's what you need to get yourself a Giselle.
Would it be Porno Holocaust?
Yes, it would be Porno Holocaust.
Thought so.
Or it would be, I don't know, SS Hell Camp? I don't know. Something.
Satan's Blood. It could be Satan's Blood.
Oh, I love Satan's Blood.
It just needs a little bit more cream, sugar.
God.
It'll be Satan's
Hey,
Blood.
if you had a goat, it'd be Black Candles.
Oh, God.
When she finally kind of gets Giselle into it, then she ridicules her and tells her to get out of there.
Right. So Giselle does. She goes into her master's room where Michaela is deciding upon what she's going to wear.
Oh, man.
Today. She has some really great options. One
I
of them I would say is an abstract watercolor. But it's all like pastels.
Oh,
so,
my God.
Oh, boy.
I have names. I have names for these dresses.
Really?
The blue one I call Blue Diarrhea. And the pastel one I call Rainbow Holocaust.
Rainbow.
Yes.
Nice. Yeah.
Beautiful. Beautiful stuff.
Yeah. This scene devolves into about what you'd think it would with both of the women, for no real particular reasons, starting to stroke one another.
Yes.
As they sit down on the bed. And I wouldn't call it heavy petting. I would call it, like medium weight. Like featherweight petting, maybe? Welterweight? Is that, I don't know which one it is.
It's a class all by itself.
Yeah.
But, keeping with the boxing theme, there's a TKO.
Yeah.
when all of a sudden we see that someone's taking pictures of these ladies having their lesbianic time, and the door to the bedroom shuts, and this breaks the trance that they were in, which who wouldn't be scared of doors closing? And Michaela yells at Giselle and says, "Leave, you wretch!"
Yeah, wretch.
Jesus. Oh, my God.
That's rough. You were just stroking her knee very, quasi-sensually just a second ago.
It's messed up. Messed up. So, outside, Letizia is listening to this scene where Michaela just continually yells at Giselle, and Letizia is smirking because it's just, she's an evil bitch. She interrupts Giovanni pruning the plants, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, he was jerking off in the bushes.
Probably.
It's a euphemism, pruning the trees.
She asks him to show him the park, which is actually just the grounds of the house.
Oh, he's gonna show her the ground. All
Boom!
right. Wow. Oh, boy.
Back inside, Michaela's crying and begging Marcello to come home on the phone.
Yeah, and we get a really good shot that puts into frame some of the desk ornaments of Marcello.
My God.
And the best one is this wooden statue of 3 people riding a very long horse. Like, it's 3 human figures, almost like kind of in like human centipede style, riding a very long horse. And I think that that's sort of like a visual metaphor for the film itself, with Letizia being the very long horse.
Oh, nicely done.
Yeah.
I do like the painting that's behind him on the wall. It's very odd. Like, looks like some weird
woman wearing a toga. Somebody else standing at her side.
We're getting a lot of mixed messages here.
I am, yep.
So we cut to Letizia wrestling with Giovanni in the bushes.
This is not sex. This is straight up wrestling. And she tells him that he's no good. And she says to him, "You're only a half Nelson, loser."
Oh.
Yeah, not even full.
Yep, he couldn't pin her in 10 seconds, so it's over, man.
It's over. She's wearing a whiskey shirt, by the way, which is pretty cool.
What's a whiskey shirt?
It just says whiskey on it.
Oh, I forgot. Okay. Nice. At dinner, Letizia totally sticks her hand up Giselle's dress and pinches her somewhere.
I mean, I think you could interpret it that way. I think that she's just looking for where Giselle hid that piece of bread.
Where's the toast?
Yeah.
The professor and his wife, Eva, who's played by Ada Pometti. Mm-hmm. Now, Ada Pometti, she doesn't have a big role in this movie, but she really sticks out. She's a lot of fun. Mm-hmm. She was in a lot of stuff, man. Yeah. Cat o' Nine Tails, Lady Frankenstein, The Exorcist, Italian style.
Oh my god. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Uh-huh. Oh, she was in The French Sex Murders.
Oh yeah.
Amazing.
Zero Papas was in that as well.
Oh, that's right.
As a thug at bar. So
it was the milestone of his career right there.
Yep. Put him on that track to success.
Yes. They stop by, and Marcello tells his pal, he's really worried about Michaela.
The professor asks, "How's Michaela?" And he responds by saying, "The usual, depression."
He totally does.
Very blasé.
Oh, shit. Meanwhile, Michaela is telling Eva about what happened between her and Giselle, and Eva is, really understanding. I mean, she really understands the lesbian moments.
Does, as she's stroking Michaela's face with the back of her hand.
And then she's about to put her hand down Michaela's top when Letizia walks in. And she immediately offers Eva a drink and then remarks at how rude Michaela's being by not offering her a drink herself.
True.
It's like...
I do want to pause for a moment because we get one of the sort of the themes bubbling under this film in that conversation between Michaela and Ava, in which Michaela says, a woman like me with the maid. There are bizarrely actually class issues in this film that are brought up on that repeatedly. It's not accidental. They keep being brought up, and for no reason. And this is one of the first obvious ones. But yeah, okay, we'll pick it back up later on with my favorite character in the film. I'm sure you'll figure out who it is as we approach him.
Oh, I'm sure I will. The couple leaves, and Marcello and Letizia go for a walk, while Michaela lights up a cigarette and watches and looks jealous from the window. Yeah. Later, Letizia finds Giovanni fixing the rake, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
She scares him off because, he's just terrified of her now. Then she goes in and sneaks up on Michaela. Michaela is in Letizia's room going through this book that we're going to see a lot of in this movie. And she basically just kicks her out of her room. And then Letizia starts staring at a picture. She's staring at a picture of Michaela this time, right? Or is she staring at a picture of her mother again?
No, it must be Michaela because stuff then happens to Michaela.
Okay. See, she's focusing her powers and shaking like a leaf as she's glaring at this picture.
Yeah, I mean, if you haven't guessed it already when you saw the curtain flutter a little bit, Letizia has some telekinetic powers.
Yes.
Very, very mild telekinetic powers. They're not like Carrie, blow the gym up.
Oh, man.
They're like, as we see right now, make some throw pillows move around a little bit.
Yep. While Michaela is arranging the pillows on the bed, one of them moves and she screams. Letizia enters the bedroom so creepy that if it was in a different movie, it would have been scary. Michaela is scared of cushions now. This is what I call putting the whammy on Michaela. Letizia uses her powers to make Michaela go to sleep. Yeah. This is going to happen a lot.
Yes. And her powers, in this case, are just, putting her hand in front of Michaela's face and moving it up and down a couple times.
Yep, she's putting the whammy on her.
That's the whammy.
At the office, Marcello is meeting with his friend, and this scene confused the shit out of me. He's meeting with the professor, but they're talking about jewelry. So I thought that he was a jeweler. It's just so confusing. And he's like, I brought these jewels. I hope she likes them. I'm like, okay. Letizia calls to tell him that Michaela has had another fit. And he asks Letizia to take care of her. And I wrote this in my notes, she lasciviously agrees. Mm.
There's so much intention there.
Immediately, Letizia decides to go out. She doesn't actually take care of Michaela at all.
Well, it's the usual. Nothing to worry about.
Exactly.
Usual old depression.
She's got my favorite gloves outside of a giallo. She's wearing this cute little outfit, and she's got these weird red gloves that look awesome.
Mm-hmm.
She's dressing like a weird hippie child or something.
Yes.
Very strange.
Important, because she's about to go out and meet a whole group of hippies.
Before she can go, though, she has to say goodbye to Michaela 3 times.
Mm-hmm.
She says goodbye, walks halfway to the door, stops, says goodbye, then walks out the door, then leans back in the door and says goodbye a 3rd time before she shuts the door. So awesome!
Michaela's got goldfish memory. She just wants to make sure.
You're leaving? You're leaving? You're leaving?
Yes. Yes.
Divertiti. Ciao. A dopo.
Ciao.
Ciao. Ciao.
So at a park, Letizia meets some cruel hippies.
But you know what? I gotta say, the Italian Woodstock was pretty lame.
It had all of 14 people at it.
This scene is so fucking bonkers. And this is the scene that's so stupid that the film itself tries to jump out of the projector.
God, it's so good.
Like there is a good 10-second stretch where literally the film jumps and you can only see half of the image because it's gotten stuck.
I'm seriously going to play the audio from this. This movie's in Italian, so I'm not playing a bunch of clips.
Uh-huh.
But this part sounds fucking insane on my TV.
Yeah, and it has to rewind at some point.
It's so
weird.
Great. It's it seriously adds to my enjoyment of the movie.
But it's so weird. It's like the field hippies, they just they call her a baby. I mean, she is kind of dressed like a baby, and they push her around onto the ground. Then they pick her up and put her on the hood of their Jeep and just drive away.
Oh my God.
That's the end of the scene.
One of the hippies says they want to soften her. And this is really important because not important stuff.
Well, it is actually the climax of the film. Everything after this is just denouement.
Very nice. Very nice. Michaela and Marcello are waiting up for her, and it's getting late, so Michaela goes to bed. Mm-hmm. So after putting the jewels away, my clock goes cuckoo. The jewels are cuckoo. Marcello's putting his jewels in his safe, which the safe, I can't believe I'm going to say this, is important later.
Yeah, kind of.
It's insane.
Well, it comes up later.
Yes.
I don't know why it's important, though.
Me neither. So Marcello's waiting up. Finally, at midnight, Letizia comes home, and she's even more catatonic than normal?
Yeah. Hard to believe, but she's in a total stupor.
Yep.
And he helps her over to the couch, I think. Lies her down. And then
oh my God.
You could say that Letizia sort of seduces Marcello. I think you could really just say that he starts feeling her up.
She
and,
definitely
sexually assaulting her.
Guides his hands to her boobs. She definitely did that.
Yeah.
But they make love, and there's a shot of Letizia's eyes really big, which, par for the course. But the ashtray moves by itself and shatters on the floor.
Yeah. Well, she knows that, shattering objects really gets him hot. So.
Oh, man. He's one of those, huh?
Yeah. Well, we saw with the glass earlier.
Yep. Oh, bam.
He's feeling randy. He's breaking shit.
The next morning, Giselle comes in and finds their clothes on the floor of the living room. Johnny come lately, Marcello walks in his bathrobe, which somehow is 100 times smaller than Letizia's bathrobe dress that she was wearing earlier. Because, oh man, if he just reached up in any way, we'd see Big Jim and the twins. It is so short. It's terrifying. Anyway, he snatches the clothes out of Giselle's hands, and she just laughs at him. Because she knows what's up. Giselle ain't no fool.
No.
At breakfast, Marcello lies for Letizia, covering up what time she came home. And he neglects to tell Michaela that he fucked Letizia.
Well, he just forgot, that's all.
Oh, yeah, well, it's kind of forgettable.
He'll probably get around to it.
Why bother?
Yeah.
So they leave, and Giovanni runs in to immediately mac on Giselle. She ain't having it. She tells him off, and because, she just knows that he struck out with Letizia. So he slaps her in the face and calls her a filthy wench, because this is medieval England.
Vattene, mi fai schifo!
Lurida servaccia.
All I wrote down here was that at some point, Giselle to Letizia about Giovanni says, he's just a motherfucker.
Yeah, that's the next scene. That's the next scene. Because she's crying after he leaves. You called it. She says, he's just a motherfucker.
It's a good line.
It's so good. Then Letizia decides to kick Giselle while she's down and makes fun of her about Giovanni. Outside, Giovanni is watering the grass, if you know what I mean.
In the bushes again.
There's some hose comedy where
hose comedy is my favorite kind of comedy. Remember the hose comedy in Bloody Moon?
I do.
With the mentally deficient groundskeeper.
Oh my god.
Peeing like a monkey up into the air with his hose. Hose comedy is the best.
The shot is from under the hose up at Letizia, and she tells Giovanni that Michaela's waiting for her in her bedroom, and the hose stops like he was peeing and something scared him. God, that's your hose comedy.
Loved it.
So next thing you know, Letizia is glaring at a picture of Michaela, and Michaela begins to get uncontrollably horny.
Yeah.
She's writhing around, and then Giovanni walks in because, she's waiting for him.
She's wearing, God, I don't even know.
Like a bathrobe.
A headscarf. It's not a bathrobe. It's like a headscarf. It's not much.
It's not a lot.
And she is just rubbing herself.
Oh, man.
And it's falling off.
He asks her, "Are you sick?" And she pulls him down on top of her and goes, "Take me, you idiot!"
Well, let's be, accurate here. For most of this scene, it's not Giovanni. It's just his flared pant legs. His egregiously flared pant legs. And she pulls him down to the ground. They start to wrestling. We get some more photos snapped.
The door shuts.
Private shots.
And of course, immediately, Michaela screams at him, "You took advantage of my frailty!"
Yeah, and calls him a swine.
Yep.
Michaela really hates whenever a door closes.
Oh,
I guess she wants everybody in the house to see what she's doing.
She's got the open secrets. Letizia looks very smug, of course.
Yeah.
And then we see Michaela ineffectually trashing the room, which is awesome. She's going as crazy as she can, which is not that crazy. Mm-hmm. But Letizia comes in and puts the whammy on her again and makes her go to sleep.
Yeah.
We need an official whammy
sound.
No whammies. Marcello and Letizia leave together in his car after all this. Mm-hmm. We see when they drive out of the driveway, we see Mr. Jingles, Mr. Occultist Zero Papas again. The doctor's wife, Eva, calls to talk to Michaela, and Giselle pretends that she's not there, and then she tells Michaela it was a wrong number. Which, why? Then Michaela looks despondent, like, why does no one call me? Marcello is now involved with Letizia, and they're out at a nightclub together.
It's a real hoppin' youth club.
I wrote they're hanging out with the shuffling masses.
There's a lot of shuffling going on.
Marcello's an old fuddy-duddy, and dancing makes him sad.
It makes him bored. That's what he tells us. He got really bored at that club.
I can't mingle with those assholes.
They're not my kind of assholes.
No, he likes the other kind.
Yeah. Oh, God.
Whatever that means. She accuses him of going soft in the head and is really ageist. Like, she's like, old people are totally bummers, man.
I know, but it's so sad because she's like the 40-year-old woman who's pretending she's still 20.
Oh, she just calls him like she sees him in the mirror. I mean, she really lays into him. She calls him out on his shit, and he is just gobsmacked. Like, he's almost as shocked as when he met her. He's like, duh. I guess no one ever stands up to him. He didn't have anything to
drop, though.
Ooh, good point. No glass. He just didn't know what to do with himself.
I know.
We cut to bath time, where Letizia is in the shower, and apparently she's allergic to water?
Oh. I thought she was, like, rinsing off some excess ectoplasm or something, because she's covered in green slime.
Oh, yeah. She got Slimer. All I know is that she is beet red. Like, I don't know if the water was too hot or she was embarrassed. Probably embarrassed. And she's just red. It's really weird.
Yeah. But she does have green slime on her. I don't understand
it's probably
where it's coming from. It's only like one shot, but she's got green shit all on her shoulder, running down her. I don't know why.
Michaela is in bed, and Marcello comes in, and of course he lies about where he was. Letizia starts looking mischievous in her room. She starts glaring at pictures of the two of them. Kayla stops reading her magazine and gets really horny. She and Marcello make love for a split second.
Very short, yes.
Before Letizia looks really crazy. Like, really, really crazy. Mm-hmm. And Michaela just starts calling Marcello a pig and screaming at him.
Specifically swine.
Yep. You're disgusting. You're creepy. And you've ruined me. You're the reason I can't have children.
Right. You only want to be a swine.
Ma che fai? Porco! Michaela.
So, they're both out of bed. He's trying to talk her down. Letizia just walks in. Just walks right in. Marcello storms out, and she puts the whammy on her again.
The palm of tranquility.
Good Lord. There's a great moment where Letizia and Marcello are just kind of standing around in the hallway, and she goes upstairs, and he almost follows her. He's like, oh, wait, I can't do that. Decides not to follow her. He goes and pours himself a drink, and Giselle comes in.
You know, we're at like the hour mark now.
Yep.
And the movie is just kind of the same scene repeating in every possible character combination over and over again. And so far, we've really only gotten sex. There's been no demons, no death.
Nope.
I think you could retitle it like Sex, Mild Telekinesis, and Dirty Photographs.
So far, yeah.
That would be accurate. Not the other one. But it will change a little. But it's still gonna be kind of boring for a little while.
I don't know. I don't call it boring. I call it amazing.
Okay.
Of course, we know where this is going, where Giselle is trying to comfort Marcello, and they end up hooking up very briefly because Letizia is glaring at them, as usual.
We get more snapshots. Like, every sexual encounter has had a snapshot taken.
It's collect them all.
Super important plot point. Yeah, it's a Pokemon Snap.
In the next scene, Letizia is doing some pendant swinging, some divining, I think, over the shiny black coffee table.
And she somehow manages to summon the ghost head of our occultist mustache man.
Yep.
Then she summons the heads of Marcello.
Yep.
And then the head of Giovanni.
Yep.
And then the head of a Day of the Dead skeleton.
It's a fucking candy skull looking mask.
Yeah, I mean, sadly, none of these was the Pez dispenser she was hoping to summon.
Oh, man. That's 4 pages of notes. Right there. Just in that one scene.
My next note I didn't give any context for. It's just a line of dialogue that I quite liked after seeing that scene. And it comes from Marcello, who says, "Believe me, my life's become an absurd mess." That's a good amount of self-awareness.
It's very appropriate. Yes. Marcello is discussing his problems with his doctor buddy again. And he is really almost being talked into taking Michaela to Switzerland. But it's starting to sound like they just want to put her away in a loony bin. It does not sound like help from a gynecologist anymore.
Well, it's a very avant-garde loony bin.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Michaela is making the bed, and this is so fucking great. She sees a face in the covers, and she screams. Then the face turns into Letizia's severed head.
Yeah, with bleeding eyes.
Yes.
Stuck. And it's great because it's obviously just the act, like they cut a hole in the bottom of the mattress.
Oh my God.
And the actress stuck her head through.
Okay, I have a theory about this scene, and I would like to share it with you.
Okay.
Who is the first face? Is that
Well,
Michaela's face?
I think it's Michaela. She looks a little funny, but she then says, my head was here. It was here. So I think it must have been her.
So what I think they did is they were going to just have her face appear in the bed, and that was it. Then later they thought it was too stupid, so they added Letizia's head, but they didn't change any dialogue.
Yeah. They were right that it was definitely too stupid. However, they did not solve that dilemma.
Oh, but it was so good. It's just great. It's finally a little spice towards the horror direction that this movie claims to be in.
Yes, but I mean, at the same time, at this point, one of the film's most chilling moments is the sight of a head resting on a pillow. So,
dun dun dun.
Yeah. Could be freakier, man.
Exactly. Michaela faints, and Giselle and Giovanni come running in, and they put her in the bed. And then, like you said, she's like, "Oh, it's her head! My head! My head! What?" So Letizia goes to meet Marcello outside his office. And while they're walking away from his office, she sees the motorcycles in the shop window. Mm. Now, this is important because she says that she likes motorcycles.
Yeah, not important.
I thought it was funny they walk away like lovers. Like, he's meeting her in the street in public, and they're totally walking around like they're together. It's good. Uh-huh. He's kind of a dickhead.
Oh, really?
Yes, I just noticed.
I didn't know.
It's very subtle.
This is going to make me reevaluate everything.
So, Michaela's at home staring at the pictures of Marcello and Giselle, and she's crying and smoking because these are the sexy pictures. The soon-to-be vanishing sexy pictures.
Yes.
When Marcello and Letizia get home, Michaela pretends everything is fine for all of 30 seconds before she makes the biggest scene in the yard, screaming at him, screaming at everyone.
She talks to Marcello about his hypocritical caresses, and then she misuses the term cuckold, describing herself as a cuckold.
Wait.
It's actually not possible unless she's a man.
Oh, I wish. That's what's under that towel / scarf she was wearing.
Handkerchief.
Yeah, it's the handkerchiefs. She tries to show them the proof, but the pictures are gone. She throws herself down on the bed after he manages to talk her down, and he very amazingly pats her on the butt and leaves the room.
Our hero.
Okay, here's where the most telling scene of the movie comes into play here. This could be the reason why this movie was made. Mm. At the office, Marcello and his doctor buddy are talking. Letizia is there too. Oh my god, this is great. They're talking about Michaela's nervous breakdown, but most importantly, the weird waiter kid comes in.
Yeah.
In the credits, he's known as Young Waiter. But he's played by Giorgio Bugnatelli, the son of the director.
Oh, yeah. Fucking love that nepotism.
Oh, my God. So
he's my favorite character.
Oh, my God. Of course.
Yeah, of course he is. He is like a normal little kid, but the way he's talking and everything, and he looks kind of funny. He reminds me a little bit of like Peter Bark from Burial Ground.
Very nice.
Not quite that freakish, but he is. Young waiter is fine. I'm calling him Young Lennon, not John Lennon.
Yes,
Vladimir.
Nice.
This little baby bow-tied butler comes in and first of all refers to Marcello simply as architect. Like, that's his name.
Yes.
Tries to get him to pay his bills, and then criticizes him, saying, "Are you under austerity, architect? No tip," when he doesn't get tipped.
Oh, my God.
And then he reminds Marcello never to mistreat the working classes, and that, in fact, the working classes and the bourgeois should be working together here. Oh, man, it's awesome.
This is the most precocious kid in Italy. It's so... Okay, two things. One, it's hilarious that it's the director's son.
Yeah.
Two, and Jeffrey, what do you think of this theory? Okay. Up until this moment, you could pass this off as a comedy. This movie could have been tongue-in-cheek joke until this moment, because this is what I interpret that the director thinks comedy is. This scene, that the rest of the movie is completely serious, this is the comedy. The levity.
Levity, but very serious.
Oh my
God.
God.
At the same point. Like, these are big time political, economic theories being
it just broke my brain.
Unleashed to us by a bow-tied baby butler.
10-year-old.
Love it.
The kid delivers an envelope to Marcello, and inside it has pictures of Michaela and Giovanni, most importantly when she was, hanging on his flared slacks. That was appropriate. When they leave, we find out that Marcello has bought a motorcycle, and he and Letizia ride off together on it. Mm. So back at home, Michaela is off her fucking rocker, chewing out Giselle and Giovanni, screaming. Marcello and Letizia come in, and she's able to calm her down. She's able to hypnotize Giselle, not Michaela this time. Mm-hmm. She just glares at Giselle, and Giselle's like, "Oh, okay, I'm done here," and she walks out.
Yep.
This is the harshest edit in the movie. Like, it's so fucking crazy. Uh-huh. All of a sudden, Skullface pops up while Giselle's outside in a different outfit, which makes it even more, like, jarring to your brain.
And Skullface is wearing a fedora now, by the way.
Yes.
Big black coat.
Oh, man, it's like a villain out of a crimi. It's fucking crazy.
Absolutely.
She sees Skullface and falls down and proceeds to roll down the least steep hill in Italy.
Very slowly. She collects a lot of leaves on herself, like she's covered with flypaper.
And it's such a serious stunt that there's actually a man in a wig for a split second doing the rolling down the hill. It's awesome. It's not my favorite death scene because she actually dies, which is great.
Yeah. It was... her death was immediate, we find out. It was, head injury.
Yeah, Letizia and Marcello are out there, and he's like telling them, like, "No, there's nothing we can do. Call an ambulance."
It's over.
So there's this huge lawsuit brought on by Giselle's family. There's this long courtroom scene. They're suing for damages, that the hill should have been graded properly so that it wouldn't have been so dangerous.
They're suing the tree that she fell into. Yeah,
they're suing God for building a tree. No, none of this happens. It's just hilarious when the police inspector shows up to, like you said, explain that nothing happened or that it was totally an accident. The best scene in this stuff is the inspector tries to shake Letizia's hand, and she just stares at him like, "Don't touch me." The inspector was played by Cesare DeVito, who is, I guess, kind of a bit player in a lot of stuff. But he was in a lot of stuff, man. He was in Play Motel, New York Ripper, and
Hell of the Living Dead.
Oh, yeah. Nice. Caliber 9. But, these are a lot of, like, uncredited roles or whatever.
Yeah.
Now we're in the voodoo here.
Yeah, Letizia is in her room stabbing the Barbie from her wall with a pin.
Yes.
For revenge. She's telling us revenge. So now we know there's motive here.
Mm-hmm.
And her stabbing the Barbie with the pin doesn't do what you'd think it would do, which would be like cause physical pain to
Nope.
either, probably Michaela. No, rather it just actually levitates their bed.
Okay. We need to take a little break from this plot.
Okay.
The levitating bed is your first definite proof that this is a cash-in on The Exorcist.
Yes.
Which, of course, leads to my favorite subject on Earth, Exorcist ripoff movies.
Mm-hmm.
Now, this is barely an Exorcist ripoff, but the foaming at the mouth and the telekinetic powers and all this other shit's leading up to this wouldn't have these elements.
The green slime. Remember?
Exactly.
Yeah, there are things connecting it.
Yeah, this wouldn't have those elements without the influence of the very popular Exorcist, which is funny because The Exorcist was like a sincere attempt, at least, to make a thought-provoking horror movie with questions of faith and all this stuff, and it was also meant to scare the shit out of people.
Yeah.
So, of course, the Italians and the Spaniards, and even the Germans, would frickin' and of course America too, would totally misunderstand The Exorcist and try to just make stuff like that.
Yeah, just like that. They made a lot of money.
Oh my god, we have just a few of these things. Paul Naschy is in one called Exorcism, which is a lot of fun.
Yeah, I remember it. I've only seen it once. I remember it being kind of bleak.
It almost tries to like ape the seriousness of the original.
Yeah,
which is fucking nuts.
It's got Paul Naschy in it, so it has a priest nonetheless.
Oh, I need to rewatch that shit. The other one I like is The Antichrist, which is an Italian production and is super tasteless. Yeah. It's like, hey, wait, what if instead of Linda Blair, we had a sexy lady? So they have this adult woman acting really disturbing and sexual and towards her family. So there's a nice incest vibe, and it's all sexual repression leads to demonic possession.
Naturally.
What else would it lead to?
Exactly.
There's the blaxploitation one called Abby.
Yeah, that's a favorite.
That's a lot of fun. That's a fun. Where the fuck is that DVD or Blu-ray or anything? Like,
yeah,
that is.
I've only seen it in very rough form.
Yeah, from VHS tapes. I'm kind of on the fence about the eerie midnight horror show.
Listen, any movie that casts Ivan Razumov as the fucking devil, the sexy devil, and literally fucking devil too. Yeah, awesome.
I think the reason I'm on the fence is the movie gets that chase sequence that just never freaking stops. Oh my god.
I love it.
It just goes on and on. Probably one of the more famous ripoffs, and actually a good movie by my estimation, is Beyond the Door.
Yeah. It's a video G-acinitis.
Yes.
We're fans of.
Absolutely.
I think Beyond the Door in some ways is like even crazier than The Visitor, which Acinitis also produced. He directed Beyond the Door as well. Mm-hmm. Like it's got some really crazy shit in it. It's a lot of fun.
It's even scary in some parts. Maybe not scary so much as just unsettling.
Sure.
I can recommend you avoid an Exorcist ripoff. Now, don't get me wrong. Of course, I would never ask anyone not to watch a shitty movie.
Of course.
But Return of the Exorcist, aka The Possessor, which has a great VHS cover, is pretty much why I checked it out. No. Oh, it's really hard to get through. It's not good. Mm-hmm. And there's other ones that I'm kind of putting off because I sort of want to do a movie-thon of these things. Like I've never seen Demon Witch Child, and I've never seen The Exorcist Italian style, which I've heard is a comedy.
It's an Italian parody from the 70s, so holy shit, I want to see that.
There's a Turkish one that's Satan.
Yeah.
That looks fucking insane. And there's a German one too. It might be a German-Italian co-production, but I could be wrong. I'll look into that. I'll see if I can find that one. But yeah, it's a great subgenre.
Definitely.
So, the levitating bed is funny, but then nothing comes of it, of course.
Yeah.
Except Michaela wakes up and sees a vision of Letizia wearing a see-through pillowcase.
And she walks towards them and says, it's a red pillowcase. So she walks towards them and asks, are you the key master? Come on.
Nicely. Well, we had Slimer before, so why not? Zool!
Can you not hear me?
The fucking Keymaster. I wanted Rick Moranis to be under the bed. You still there? Oh, I lost you. We got a dropped call, y'all.
Yo.
Hi, what happened?
I don't know. It dropped.
It got sick of us.
It dropped right after my joke. Did you even hear it?
Was it the Keymaster?
Yes.
Good. I kept talking and making Ghostbusters references and laughing, and then I was like, wait.
I didn't hear anything
Jeffrey's
after
gone.
I said that. It was like, that was a good joke. You should laugh.
Richard's an asshole.
I do want to comment for a second about, our real vision of Letizia, where she's in her room and, she's foaming at the mouth.
So
her drool is so gross. It's so thick. I once fell asleep with like half a bag of Big League Chew in my mouth. And I think that what was coming out of my mouth in the morning looks a lot like what's dripping from her right now.
Well,
gross.
I actually ate 3 pounds of Smarties one time, and I didn't realize I wasn't chewing them after a while. They were just completely filling my mouth.
Yeah.
And then I started crying, and I actually had that foam coming out of my mouth and my eyes.
Yeah, every orifice.
Every Halloween. It's crazy. So this vision of Letizia getting all over Marcello, this is it. Michaela is completely off her nut.
Yeah, it's the thing that breaks her. She's broken now. And so we find out in the very next scene she's been carted out of the movie to a loony bin in Switzerland.
Yes.
It's over.
We will never
Michaela.
see Michaela in the movie again.
Yeah, for the next 13 minutes, we will not see her.
I am seriously disappointed because I love Michaela.
Well, it means she at least survives the movie.
True, but
which
I
is
wanted
more than we can say of anybody else.
I also wanted to see her die. That's how much I liked her. So Marcello, very sadly decides to close the villa. Because, when you don't have a woman living there, just shut that shit down.
Yep. And he brings Giovanni in and tells him that Giovanni will have to quit.
Yes.
He's not going to be fired because this motherfucker doesn't want to have to pay his now jobless employee any sort of unemployment. So he has to make Giovanni quit. It's pretty fucked up.
Yeah, he pays him his severance pay. Mm. And Giovanni is understandably in shock that this is happening to him.
Mm. He's like, who's gonna hang out in the bushes now?
Who's gonna fix the rake and masturbate furiously in the woods?
He can fix a rake at home.
Oh, that's true. So the most unrealistic scene happens in that Giovanni is driving away, and I'm like, how the fuck can he afford a car? He's a freaking butler.
Yeah, well, he saved up.
Yeah, I think he just stole the car. No, he's actually in a very familiar vehicle. He's in a Volkswagen Bug. Mm-hmm. And this is our tie-in with the Toolbox Murders.
Yeah. Yeah.
Blew my mind.
Wrote that down, yeah.
Blew my mind. He's driving, and suddenly he's not driving on a street anymore. He's driving in a field with 2 rows of trees, like parallel to each other. And he's cruising between these trees, and then we see a figure, a mysterious figure. Could it be the occultist, aka Mr. Jingles? No, it's Death. And we get a straight up Toolbox Murders style car accident.
Yeah, I'm scare quoting now because podcasting is a visual medium. He crashes his car
into a big concrete or tree or whatever. Who cares?
And then, like in Toolbox Murders, we see him very lightly tumble out of the driver's side door.
Yes.
3 times.
I actually looked up and discovered that Giovanni Day, the actor, Gianni Day, he was a ballet dancer, and that's why he just casually flows out of the car so beautifully.
It's so graceful. Yeah.
Okay, he wasn't a ballet dancer. It's just in slow motion.
Well, he's a belly dancer, though. Like, that was his career after.
Nice. Very sexy.
Film. Yeah.
I like to see that. I mean, the craziest thing about this is that the movie has been limping along and has been breaking over and over. And this is like the final, like,
yeah.
If you're a pessimist, this would be an insult. But if you're like us, this is like a reward for getting this far in the fucking movie.
These string of death scenes and removal from film scenes are so weak, and it's great. You know how he died? You know how he died in this scene?
How?
Head injury. Nothing you could do.
Oh, thank you, officer.
Don't worry about it.
Mr. Jingles walks up and stares at his work. We cut to the nightclub where Marcello is drinking while Letizia is dancing. Marcello's sitting at a table surrounded by hotties because now he's the toast of the town because, you know, he's going to have a wife in the loony bin, I guess.
Yeah.
And one of the girls, as Letizia is watching, slips something into his drink, some white powder, which I guess is either LSD or PCP or... I don't fucking know. Aspirin?
Drug. Yeah, it's drug.
It's a drug. Marcello goes completely apeshit.
Bugs out, yeah.
He literally bugs out.
He sees images of little bugs in, like, lizards and shit in front of his eyes.
These toys are laid out on a black piece of fabric, and it's like a little lizard and a little fly and a little scorpion, and they're all like neon green, and they just superimposed these insects over shots of Marcello freaking out, shots of all the people at the dance club staring at him like he's a moron. It is so fucking awesome. Like...
He rushes out into the street while everybody's watching him. Letizia is watching him as well.
Yep.
He can, while he's on the street, he's continuing to bug out, keep seeing the bugs, and is like rubbing his face a lot.
Oh my god!
I guess he must be very stubbly. He likes the texture.
Who doesn't?
And then a car hits him.
What's fucking amazing is they spent all that time setting up the motorcycle, which he completely ignores so he can run out into the street and get hit by a car. So the motorcycle proved to be completely stupid.
Oh, yeah. And the car is, of course, driven by our skeleton man in the fedora.
Yep.
And all of this makes Letizia laugh very hard.
Oh, it's awesome. She is like just shout laughing in front of everyone, so if anyone would suspect her of anything, you know, it would be a little obvious.
Yeah. And we don't know, I mean, we don't get like a coroner report, but it's safe to assume that he died by head injury.
At the house, Letizia gets a really confusing phone call.
Well, she's all by herself now. She has the villa all to herself because everybody else is dead in a loony bin. And she's really excited because she can wear her pajamas all day long now.
Yay. She gets a call that says that Marcello's in the morgue. I guess that's what that phone call was. She looks at a photo of her mother, and she says, "You got your revenge, Mommy."
Yeah. Why?
What? We have no fucking clue.
We don't know what happened to her mommy that requires revenge, but just know that she got it against everybody.
Bam. Death walks in, and it, of course, turns into Mr. Jingles.
Oh, they were wearing the same hat.
Oh, man. I just got chills up my colon. I don't know.
I couldn't tell all along because the skeleton had no mustache.
Yeah.
If he did, I think I would have been able to piece this together otherwise.
Man, I love Agatha Christie. She's so good in this. What?
You're saying she's the skeleton?
Yes. Because she was dead at this filming. He's come to collect his share of the inheritance or the jewels or the millions of dollars we never talked about.
Yeah. It's now, I mean, we're at the exposition dump section of the film. We learn that she was his apprentice at the orphanage, like he ran the orphanage or something.
Mm-hmm.
And that she had betrayed him and abused his magic or something.
He taught her the occult arts.
Yeah.
And he tells her, he sees the book that she's been carrying around the whole time, which is Tretito di Parapsychologia.
Whatever.
He says, parapsychology is good for amateurs.
He's into some real deep, dark shit, man.
So since she's cornered, she tries to seduce him. And
to which he responds, "Do you think you can resolve everything with sex?"
And so far, absolutely yes. It's been true every time.
Much. It's always worked.
But surprise! He stabs her in the stomach.
Hey, you know, death is actually pretty good at resolution as well.
Pensi di risolvere tutto col sesso anche ora?
Letizia falls to the ground dead. Mr. Jingles decides to collect his money or his jewels or whatever's in the safe from the safe. When he opens the safe, it fucking explodes.
And you know what? This is kind of his fault because the safe was clearly labeled Acme.
It could have fallen on him, but it chose to explode.
Yeah, you just don't want to go near that sort of safe. It's so fucking stupid. It's like a flash.
It's bomb. Like flash.
It explodes in his face. It doesn't like blow him up or anything. It just like mortally wounds him, so he gets to crawl around a bit.
Yeah, he's bleeding everywhere. Well, mainly just spitting blood out of his mouth, and he crawls towards Letizia, and he utters the last word of the movie, which is reminding me of the last words of 5 Women for the Killer.
Mm-hmm.
His last words are "Putana." Just calls her a bitch. The camera focuses on the Tretito di Parapsychologia book, and the credits roll.
And we get that ghost laugh of Letizia on the soundtrack.
Oh my god.
She has the last laugh. Signed, Diabolically, Letizia. It's bullshit, by the way. I never saw her write one goddamn letter in this movie.
I'm gonna sign all my letters that from now on. Holy shit, Jeffrey. I sure can pick them.
Yeah.
I saw this DVD very cheap, and I bought it, and I watched it, and I immediately messaged you like, we need to do this movie. So did I choose badly? Did you enjoy this?
You chose wonderfully. I love this movie.
Yes.
I mean, it's, I don't think it's as immediately appealing as some things we cover because it's very, like, it's crazy, but it's kind of restrained in its craziness. It's like a very fine vintage of craziness that you have to appreciate the subtleties of. Like, if you like Bug Eyes and you like them a lot, you're gonna like this movie, just like I do. But it's not super over the top all the time. I think a lot of its pleasures come from it being just totally incompetent.
Oh, man.
In so many ways.
It's crazy.
Yeah. But, I like it a lot. I thought it was good fun, and I enjoyed my time watching it.
I look forward to dropping this on an unsuspecting group of people. Like, I just want to just play, just cruelly, sadistically, just hype this as a great movie and then put it on and not say anything. Just watch people look at me like, what is wrong with you?
This might be like the most obscure movie we've done. I looked on IMDb, and according to their 36 people have watched it. I feel pretty confident saying that this is the only podcast that will ever tackle this movie.
So yeah, we don't recommend this unless you like bad shit. But
Yeah.
I it's so much fun because the logic keeps failing and things keep collapsing on themselves as every time it starts to get a little dull, something incredibly stupid happens that just makes it all better. And then the ending is fantastic. That exploding frickin' safe.
That is quite the moment.
Holy shit.
The whole throughout, I mean, because of all the coupling and sort of the deterioration of this household because of an interloper, it reminded me a lot of like a vaguely satanic telekinetic version of Pier Paolo Pasolini's Teorema. Which it's similar to in that respect. And coincidentally, actually, Terrence Stamp also sports a werewolf face in that film.
Booyah. I need to see that. That sounds great.
Just kidding. There's no werewolf face.
Damn it. You got me. Oh my goodness. You got Lietta too.
I think I got her too.
So I felt like this was a Jess Franco film without any heart or soul. Like, there's so many parallels to a Franco film here, except it's not tragically sad in some way. It's just tragically stupid.
Yeah. Also, so many opportunities for vagina close-ups, and we didn't get any.
I swear, there's got to be a frickin' porno version of this, or this was meant.
I lost you again.
Oh, no, I'm still here. I can hear you.
No.
Hello? I'm gonna call you back. Hello?
What is going on?
I don't know. All I know is I could still hear you, but you couldn't hear me.
I was like,
Jeffrey! I felt like this was missing sex scenes, or it was intended to have those extended sex scenes, but then nobody bought the movie, so no one, like France, put them in. Because usually the French cut of these movies is the porno version.
Yes.
I would kill for a dubbed version of this to appear, but no way nobody ever dubbed this fucking thing.
No. Again, there is probably only one print that exists,
which is
in
perfect.
The world.
Who needs more than that?
No, one's good enough.
Yeah, I think that's all I had to say about it. Do you have any other thoughts on this wonderful thing we behold?
You know what? I think it speaks for itself.
Oh, well, thank you for being on the show, sir. It was great to discuss this wonderful thing with you.
Always a pleasure.
Yay. Folks, thanks for listening. Good night.
Mamma mia!
If you would like to contact Hello, this is the Doomed Show. Please email us at doomedmoviethong@gmail.com or check us out at facebook.com/Hello Doomed Show. We are also on Twitter. Sorry about that. @DoomedMovieThong. #Hello Doomed Show. For the old ass episodes that you missed, find our archived episodes at doomedmoviethong.com. Don't forget to eat fruit and veggies.
Hello, my name is Rod Barnett.
I'm Troy Gwynn.
And we are your genial co-hosts for NashyCast, the podcast about the films of Paul Naschy. If you don't know who Paul Naschy is, you need to learn.
Spanish horror icon, writer, director, actor, makeup artist.
He is all of these things and more. Paul Naschy, one of the greatest genre filmmakers of all time. Do titles like Horror Rises from the Tomb,
Vengeance of the Mummy, Werewolf Shadow,
House of Psychotic Women,
Blue Eyes of the Broken Doll,
Mark of the Werewolf make you want to see more?
Watch the film, then come hear our stunning, brilliant commentary.
Stunning and brilliant. That's us. Think that's too egotistical? Think that sounds silly? Think we come off as assholes?
Look, if nothing else, let us tell you this. Blood, nudity, beautiful women, werewolves and turtlenecks.
Nipples. Lots of nipples. Both male and female. Yeah. I don't know if anybody's going to want to listen to us after this, man. Find us at The Bloody Pit of Rod, or
you can subscribe to us on iTunes.
Give us a listen. And if we scare you too much, well, maybe Spanish horror is not your thing. I don't know.